Greetings, fellow shovelers, and welcome back to another edition of Shovel Knight, in which we must engage in the palace of the King Knight and dig up the royal garden to find the crown petals or something. Anyway, let's go. Remember, justice is always in spades! Remember, go left! One of the random townspeople you can talk to in the village that I didn't actually run into mentions this. So it's not completely not obvious, but you know, it is something that happens. This is where you find one of the hidden music things. Basically, you can find a song scroll here. But anyways, remembering my buttons is generally important. I'm kind of used to playing on the 3DS at this point, and being able to just poke the screen to choose my relic. So there's a lot of these sparkly fishing spots. Some of them will have fish that are actually more worthwhile than those giant pink gems, so it's worth picking up. And we don't really have anything else we can use right now, so may as well just fish when we can. Now, King Knight Stage has a rather unsettling palette for one thing, but it's also by far the easiest of the first stages to go after, so let's go ahead and get this one out of the way first. It also has something very important later on in the stage that I'm going to want as soon as possible. Yes, this is a no damage rat. Wait, these things are supposed to be pouring in a much more... I swear those are supposed to look a little different. I hope nothing's screwing up, but anyways. Let's get ourselves another golden fish and keep on moving. Now, much like before, I'm going to want to gather as much money as possible, as there's still plenty of magic upgrades, and I want them. I want them rather badly. Magic is going to be our life savior in this game, by far. It gives us access to all the tools that we... See there! They're pouring correctly! What happened to the other ones? It's weird. Maybe it has something to do with playing in full screen. Either way, though. These little propeller rats are kind of cute, by the way. They're so harmless. They get in the way sometimes. So, remember when I mentioned deflecting projectiles is a major thing in which we can do? Well, it's still true. Now, depending on where you are, it's either useful or completely useless. So, you know, deflect projectiles responsibly with your means of shoveling at people. Pridemoor Keep is fairly simple. Ah, yes. So you may notice the difference between this checkpoint and the checkpoints of the first stage. This one doesn't have the wings embracing the actual globe of the checkpoint. Also, the flame is kind of just a weak little gray and not the magnificent blue one from the intro stage. Well, there's a reason for that. I don't need no stinking checkpoint. I'm doing no damage, let alone no deaths. Yeah, you can shatter the checkpoints to get some extra gold. They will always contain a pink gem, and the color of the flame will let you know what the surrounding gems are going to be. Here's the first iteration of these jerks. Does anybody remember the Iron Knuckles from Zelda 2? Because that's what these ones are kind of like, and I actually have a similar strategy for dealing with them. Trick them into dodging up, and then hit them in the side. The yellow ones aren't too bad, but all the other iterations I'm going to have to cheese in some fashion because they're really annoying. And just very, very disturbingly placed. Continuing right along, we have another useless checkpoint! Give me the money. That's all I want. And falling chandeliers! Apparently King Knight hasn't been keeping the upkeep of the place ever since he took it over. That's a bit saddening. You should look after your regal surroundings. As you can see, this particular stage isn't too difficult either. As I mentioned, there's not a whole lot going on for it difficulty-wise. This looks specifically made for us. Let's go! Get into that by lining yourself up just right and holding perfectly still. A nefarious chandelier puzzle. So inside these blue chests, we'll find that Chester gets to them first. Yeah, so this guy's a bit of a jerk in that you find magical relics that you can use for your magic meter, but he sells them to you in the stage itself. Now, I think you can get them cheaper if you get them in the stage, because he will take them back to the village if you don't find it on your first time through the stage. But the fact that you're getting charged for your relics and all is kind of annoying. Either way, the reason why this one's so dang good is because it's a projectile. Oops. Hey, I was... Damn demonstrating here. Have some patience. It uses 4 magic per shot, so having 50 will give me a good number of them. Here we go. So this is going to help us immensely with trickier positioned enemies that it's too dangerous to go out with our shovel. Careful usage of the Fire Blast is going to be help a lot in many later sections of the game. It will be one of our most used relics, and just genuinely one of the best ones in the game. Just because it does give us that simple extra attack from a distance. Nothing else really gives the same thing. There's ones that you get kind of the similar type of utility, but it's just not as good. But here, though, we don't really have to use it, because we can just deflect this guy. And this suspicious wall, we have stuff! Behind it, we have even more goodies! Remember, keep digging! You might find even more stuff behind where you originally dug up. Now, we kind of just want to drop down here, because that checkpoint, it's looking at me funny. Die! We have no need of those, so make sure to destroy every single one. There's actually a feed for completing the game without using a single checkpoint, so make sure to destroy every single possible one in the game in order to get that one. So this fellow will attack twice. Come on, do it one more time. He's a hot dog, essentially, but in griffin form. Once he does that, you can really go ahead and claw at him. Takes 8 hits to kill, and drops a chicken dinner, because, well, it's a bird. The claw is a very short hitbox, but it's a way of dealing with you getting too close to it. For this part, you're gonna kind of want to rush it, and bounce off of all the little rats in order to reach your way up here. Take yet another secret passageway. Whoa! Somewhat dangerous spot right here. Now this is very much Bowser's Castle style in that you can jump up where any of these banners are. So keep that in mind. That fellow doesn't really realize that we're here, so there's that. And here we have some more gems, but nothing else. Some of these spots you can't fall through. Pretty much just like Bowser's Castle, it's just a little less obvious. Yeah, there's a wall there too for another small gem. What we're really after, of course, is the treasure! I do love how Shovel Knight digs through the entire chest just to get to the actual useful gem. Then he's always little ones, just get the big one. The big one at the bottom is the most important. Stab! 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 Stab combo! Comboing in this game doesn't really do anything, but it makes you feel satisfied that you can multi-pogo. If you time that right, you'll get these guys to lunge at you ahead of time, but if not, then you can just do that. No big deal. This guy's a bit precarious to fight, because the platform you're on is not the greatest. Also, that will generally happen, because in order to get yourself to stop down-stabbing, you need to actually attack again. So it's a bit of a dicey maneuver to deal with them. You don't have to, you can just skip past them if you want. But you know, just in case. Just in case. Now, see, this one's green, so now all the surrounding gems are green instead. Worth a little bit more money. Now, often the color of the gems will reflect how dangerous it is to be doing that. Hey there. Later in the game, you'll be getting mostly high-value gems if you destroy the checkpoints, because it is so dangerous to actually get rid of them, because, of course, the stages get much harder. Now, the reason why this part's getting dangerous is because we're dealing with timed platforms in the form of this book. Hitting the book will reveal the sickly platforms, and then they'll slowly fade away. I'm gonna keep pressing the wrong button, by the way, because, for some reason I keep wanting to press start like in Mega Man and select my relic. But it's actually the select button. I could change that if I wanted to, but I'm just used to it by now. So here's one of the troubles that you can just find in a pit. If you actually have a spare chalice, you'll fill one of them with whatever assigned amount of ichor that they have. Like, each one in the stage has a specific ichor that it will drop. That one I'm not sure because I'm almost always full. I think it gives you a restore health and magic hardcore if I'm not mistaken. You kind of want to rush this one, go 2 pots at a time, because otherwise you're going to get stuck when that's fading away, and take an unfortunate plummet to your doom. Vile chandeliers? Ah, vile bomb in a freaking dinner plate! That's not what I ordered! That's not my order at all! Man! If you rush this one really fast, you can convince it to just try and claw at you instead of actually doing anything else. Thus making that rather easy. With that, though, we go to obvious boss hallway, where we must face off against King Knight. He's very much taken a liking to his throne that he doesn't deserve. He's too short. He can't even sit on that throne properly. He does have one hell of a cape, though, and he's enjoying his crown. Something before my fabulously regal self. Look at that face portrait. He's just looking all up high and mighty with himself there. Oh, prepare to taste justice. Shovel justice. Oh, God. And here I forgot about that line. Oh, well. So, King Knight, he's kind of easy, but he does have a couple of tricks up his sleeve. He can only move around he can only move around 2 ways. Either by jumping or dashing. Thus, he's extremely vulnerable to being downstabbed repeatedly. This is where things get tricky. Because any of those any of those bits of confetti will hurt you. So be freaking careful about those and just take him down with the projectiles if you can. Like I said, he's very simple, but you're very likely to take a hit when the confetti's on screen, because it does wave around like Leaf Shield. But with that, that's all there was to it. A little bit of a frightening start to the battle, but the important thing is King Knight is down. And so with another stage successfully completed, Shovel Knight feels the need to sit down, relax, enjoy another peaceful night at the campfire. This time not troubled by dreams of his lost love, but instead having a peaceful rest in which he can quickly awaken and once again put out his fire. I swear to God, if you leave that campfire lit at any of these points, he will get you. He supports Smokey the Bear. Listen to him! Oh yeah, all for that one. But wait, there's more! You know, just saying. Every now and then these little mini-boss enemies will pop up onto the map, and they'll just have a little bit of extra stuff for us to go through. Like, for example, this one. This first one's pretty simple. It's basically based off the original stage, nothing much fancy going on here. Now, do note the autosave after the King Knight stage, so after this one I'll probably be, you know, using a separate take to go after these stages, because I don't want to accidentally get hit during one of these and thus, you know, not be able to use my footage at all, or, you know, even worse, having an on-screen hit that wouldn't be of any use. But thankfully, this first one is extremely easy. That's pretty much all there is to it. Except for this dude, but the same thing as before. We can have him just... Come on, come on. Oh, you're not gonna walk into the pit, are you? Well then! Taste my fishing rod! Otherwise, you can just kind of get him to walk over here and poke him in the head. Yes, the fishing rod can be used as a weapon. There is that too. Oh yeah, there'll be a little extra bonus areas to get some extra money. But keep those in mind too. I'll be showing them off as well. With that one though, that's King Knight out of the way. So for next time, we'll take a quick pick stop at the village to get ourselves a couple more power-ups to work with. Then we'll be heading on over to Spectre Knight stage. So that one, thanks for watching this one too, and I hope Shovel Knight's gonna be a fun one. So stay tuned for failures if there are any, and of course, I'll go ahead and have the stage music playing for you, since I know people will be interested here at that as well. See you next time!